Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I have about 4 different collections that are rather huge, large, and I have a problem that my children don't really care too much about them. So I didn't know how the best way, maybe if I wanted to get rid of them. I don't need the money, but I have a coin collection.
Okay.
I have a depression glass collection. I have a extensive record collection, vinyl.
Okay.
And I have a collectible card game collection.
Okay.
So
what's a depression glass, man?
Yeah, I want to know that too.
I think James Childs drinks from a cup like that a lot. What is that?
It's the colored glass from the 20s and 30s that were made, the first mass-produced type glass.
Is it like that green color?
Green, pink,
amber,
cobalt blue, amber, all kind of. There's elegant glass, which is the same as depression glass, made during the Depression era, basically made during the 20s and the 30s.
What's your card collections? You into baseball cards?
No, it's not baseball cards. It's you've heard of the game Magic the Gathering?
Oh, Ronnie.
It's not just a game. You collect. Wait a minute. I don't think I realized that you could collect lots of. It's like Pokemon.
Sorta, except it's the very first game to come out like that. And I have an extensive collection of all the early stuff, which is worth a lot.
When you say worth a lot, what do you mean?
I have one card that's worth $100,000.
Whoa! So you need to consign this. You need to go on. Do you watch that show on Netflix, Golden Auctions?
I never really looked at that.
Listen, I would get online today and look at it.
Why don't your kids watch it? I don't know what Magic the Gathering is. It sounds intense. But why don't your kids want all of that? It came out in
1993. It's a collectible card game. I have not only just the cards. You collect the cards and you play a game with them. And so I have all the early first printing of stuff, and I have the first about 6 couple of expansion sets. It's still out now. They're still producing cards. Very popular around the world.
So why haven't you sold them? I mean,
well, I haven't sold them because I don't really need the money to sell them. So I just want to know maybe if how do you get rid of something like that? At first, I thought, well, I can just go sell them at a card shop. But now a card shop can't even buy what I have because I got unopened boxes that are worth $10,000.
Have you gotten them rated, professionally?
No, they're not graded, but I know how to grade them and everything because I've been doing this for a while.
I'd start walking down that path if you know you've got all this.
It's the card I have that's worth a lot is part of a whole set.
Yeah.
And the set is worth $300,000.
That's what I'm saying.
$100,000 card.
But you keep telling us how much it's worth. Who's telling you how much it's worth?
He's got it.
That's just me going online and looking at what they're selling it for. Now I probably couldn't get that much for it.
But who's selling it?
Different car shops around the country, like Turtle and Toad and Alpha Beta Unlimited.
But I mean, that means they're buying it, right?
They're buying it and they're selling it. Yes, but
so I would start there.
Okay.
Or look into these auctions. Look into all sorts of things that you could do, and
I
vet
have
them
a
out.
lot of unopened boxes.
Yeah, we understand that, dude. We understand that. What we're saying is take the next step to selling them, which is you vetting out different companies, whether they're just people selling them, and they're just offering you top dollar, or you put it on an auction block and see what you can get for it. Really look into this because there's a lot of money to be made there. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know a whole lot about the depression glass. I don't know. Your record collection could be worth a lot. It could be garbage. We really don't know. But until you get it out there.
It's probably worth. I got about 8,000 albums. And
right, but until you get it,
it's worth 80,000.
Until you get it out there, and somebody says, "I will give you this for it," we really don't know. Right. So that's the next step.
And let me tell you this, Ronnie. And this is hard to hear. Okay, I've sat with a few older folks with things in their home that they in their head had numbers attached to, and that was they were literally drowning in stuff. And I was trying to help them go through their things. One person was able to just say, the piece is not worth this, and I'm calling it imaginary because you don't have a check in your hand, right? So until you're holding money, it's not real money. But they finally were saying, I want peace in my home. And I left one other elderly person's house. It was heartbreaking. Literally unable to move. because of how much the potential this stuff was worth. And I knew it wasn't worth what they were saying was in their mind, but I just couldn't have that. They wouldn't hear it. And so I think you have to ask yourself, if you don't need the money and you like having these collections, I can hear your voice as you're describing this stuff to me and Jade. You like having things that in your mind are worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Then just keep them. Your kids will figure out what to do with them when you're gone. If you want to sell them, and that's
actually the magic cards is what they're probably interested in the most.
Great, cool. Then,
but I have a financial advisor that's saying maybe I ought to sell some of this stuff just to get the money and invest it and stuff like that.
But I don't think you want to sell it. I think he wants to increase his portfolio percentage take. Do you want to sell it?
I don't want to sell it right now, no.
Okay, then don't sell it.
Yes.
Then don't sell it. Because I can tell right now you don't want to sell it, and the reason I know that is you have this this incredible thing.
I'm realistic to know that whatever, like a $100,000 card, I could probably get 50 for it.
Okay, but I'm saying you got the internet. If you want to sell these, you can sell.
Half. Yeah, you're going to get like half of anything that you have as a collection now.
Okay.
The glass, I know dealers that can buy the glass.
But here's what I'm saying. You don't want to sell them, and so that's fine. You don't need the money. You don't want to sell them. That's cool. And again, I know you don't want to sell them because you haven't sold them yet.
That's true.
So when you want to sell them, you got the internet. You can pick up the internet and you can figure out who to sell this stuff to if you need the money, or if you just want to start offloading these things because you want to give your kids cash instead of these things. But if these things still bring you joy, keep these things.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like we were just chasing our tail in that call because it just kept going back to the fact that he has it.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm glad that you have it. And listen, if you have Steely Dan's Pretzel Logic, I'll buy that off of you because that's hard to find. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm with John.
Jade, you're officially on friendship probation for being a Steely Dan fan.
What?
Jade, James Childs, you too.
What? Hold on.
I'm still bitter
You're
about.
trying to tell me there's something wrong with Donald Fagen.
I'm just still bitter about the heavy metal win over Metallica that one time.
It's just because he's not a real musician, Jay. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God. I know, right? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let this roll off. I'm going to act like you never said that, John. And
Ronnie,
I'm
send the
turn
records.
my back.
Jade and I will split them up. We'll take care of the records for you.
Yeah, that's right. We'll take care of that. Oh my goodness. That's a good call. Thank you for the call, Ronnie. It is hard to part with things that I don't know. Like there's a reason that people collect things. And a lot of times it doesn't start with financial gain. It starts with a feeling it gives them, or like it's nostalgic. It makes them think of a time. I don't know. So it's hard to part with that.
But I think it's important. Here's two important call outs. Number one, if somebody's leaning on you to start selling it, whether it's your financial advisor or your kids, they want a piece of the action, right? Mm-hmm. If you have realized, or if you're broke and people around you are like, hey, you got to sell some of this stuff to pay your bills, then there's going to come that moment.
Yeah.
But also there's going to come a moment when you collect whatever it is you collect and you're 65, you're 75, and you realize, I can't take this with me, right? And so then you got to ask yourself, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to be charitable with it? Am I going to sell it and give the cash to my kids, or give the cash to a local organization or whatever? Mm-hmm. But at some point, man, this is going to sound awful. At some point, you're no longer here.
That's right.
None of us get out of this thing alive, and none of us can take our magic cards with us, right? Or in James is quasi folk music with him, or whatever Steely Dan does.
Well, I'm gonna act like you're not saying the things that you're saying right now about Steely Dan.
I'm not. I don't know enough about Steely Dan.
I want the nations to take to the comments right now and settle this for us once and for all. One of the greatest bands, duos of all time. Walter Becker.
America, this is the first time I've said this on the show, but that's not great advice you just heard.
America will decide.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.